intend to offend, we will offend. And if you have a delicate sensibility, click the X button in the corner, or if you're on a Mac, the red button in the left corner. Monty, welcome to the show of offending people.
Well, it never happened and I make shit up. So for the last couple of weeks, everyone that has asked for a reading, apparently you're all from Scotland, from Hurley in Scotland. You all live the same lives. It's very metaphysical, because we're all one. And I can't read the Akashic Records. I didn't even have a card.
Meow, meow, meow. Welcome, everyone, to another Friday night comedy show.
Please
with
don't
my
stroke
old
the microphone. Don't stroke the microphone. It's very disturbing.
Oh, I'm gonna give it a stroke. I am joined by Montesaurus Dean Rex and Melissa Hawking Hughes once again for a Friday comedy evening, as I'm using the ASMR voice. I'm going to try to maintain that for the entire show.
No, you won't.
See what it does to my female audiences.
Well, I can tell you what's happening to the male set of the audience is like, what is wrong with him?
Oh, there's a few men out there that are enjoying my big phallic microphone.
God.
They can be taken two ways. No pun intended.
Done on purpose, yes. Smooth jazz with the Galactic Historians Comedy Hour.
Coming up next, Disciple by Slayer.
Oh, Andrew. I love your microphone.
I know you love my microphone. You are
Mine is so small compared to yours.
Yeah, you have soundgasms every time I pull this microphone out.
I've been doing improv comedy course, and I have this one voice that shuts down every scene. I'll give you an example. The one word we had for the scene was playground. And so a lady was standing there, and I just walk in and go, so which one's yours? And they stopped the scene. I don't know why.
Well, Monty, I think that it was just a perfect moment for you to expand your capacity to be funny.
If you'd like to call in for the Galactic Historian Jazz, east of the Rockies and west of the Rockies.
And now I'll switch to my radio voice. WKPP, Galactic History Radio.
Going out to the multiple timelines across all of eternity and creation.
Sponsored by Source Inc.
Do you have insurance?
Exactly. Do you have insurance? Have your light bodies crashed into something recently and your insurance has gone up? Source Insurance is for you.
Oh, with this great business idea, we should start that.
I'm sure.
I know.
The word integrity comes to mind, but yeah, sure.
Yes.
Well, it's such a big issue. Such a big issue over the last 5 weeks and into the next month as well. Yeah. But yes, we will talk about that.
Thanks, Catherine. We can get extended source warranties. If your source ever breaks, we will guarantee to fix it for free.
Hello, I am Monty Dean, the CEO of Source Inc. Where are you traveling to Earth? Then you need this all coverage policy from us. You'll be ecstatic.
We pay out in troubles. That's a great one, Fred.
We could add on. You can add on all sorts of stuff. Light speed collision.
Light speed collision.
It's a good album.
Multi-dimensional loss of path. Oh, it's so much.
Identity theft.
Multi-dimensional defamation when one of yourselves is defaming your other. Source Inc. also has a clothing line. The best bikinis and male swim shorts ever out there. It'll make your body part look perfect.
We also do class action lawsuits where it's you versus you and you versus you versus you. But it's just you, really.
Mm-hmm. It's really just me.
Speaking of t-shirts,
that should be our slogan. Is it me? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I've made a t-shirt.
Woo! He's wearing his own t-shirt. You can buy the t-shirt, everyone.
Yes, I have a link.
Here's another great source advertisement. Source law firm.
Oh God.
Are you just downright Are you just downright pissed off with your karma and you want to sue your source? We are the Source law firm, suing Source since the beginning of time.
We deal with soul contracts, spiritual attacks, and UFO insurance.
Yes. Has your butt been probed recently? We have UFO insurance.
Are you a contactee? Are you a contactee, an abductee, or just any type of E? Then come talk to us. We are your local store is at Alpha Centauri.
Yes, and then there's the Source fried chicken
going to
store.
branches, advocate groups. You know,
Yep.
Look, this is a great business idea. We should do this. We should run it past the council and see if it's okay.
I've got a question for the Galactic historians. Is there any entities in the galaxy going, what the hell are they talking about now? Because this is dangerous. Like this, I know it's comedy, but sure, we've just created a new timeline where now from Earth, spiritual equity insurance.
There are a few pagers going off on the ships going there. Warning, new content, unexpected, unpredicted.
Dangerous idea.
A bit like at the moment, there's quite a few spiritual leaders, gurus, so-called healers, et cetera, that are actually being sued on this planet. Thank you for the last Lionsgate, all that sort of stuff. I imagine that's going on. The same terror will be reaching out through the galaxy as us talking about this, that you're going to be called to integrity via council. I imagine there's an awful lot of people trembling in their boots, but a lot of entities trembling in their boots around the various dimensions. That latest,
the ones that are trembling have been trembling. The ones that are really powerful, they don't care. They're like mafia bosses. I'll buy him now. Don't worry.
I'll make him an offer he can't refuse.
Exactly. I'll make him an offer he can't refuse.
A Lord of the Rings widescreen box set. This is my offer.
But spiritual gangsters are it, Santo. I've got to tell you, there's some good ones out there. Yes, that's interesting. Well, I've been discussing this at length for the last few weeks with colleagues around the world about what's happening in this shifting timeline and about this funneling effect of everything coming into its collision phase, you know, as its funnel's getting so narrow now. And we've been talking about the fact that it must be, as much as we're seeing it play out here in the human experience and everything, where we're seeing that there seems to have been a massive misunderstanding, or perhaps not a misunderstanding, who knows, so we always knew, like, the last Lionsgate was huge, and we knew that it started a little prematurely. It actually kicked in a little earlier. We knew it from the last lunar month. We're in a new one now. It kicked in, and we always knew things that we knew. It was a massive call to integrity, and it was, you know, people that were working in anything connected to spirit, universe, beyond just the human experience, would be called to integrity. There's been a sort of a misunderstanding, or perhaps a global exposure where, so I'm trying not to laugh. I've got to stop being sarcastic about this. Stop that. But there seems to have been a big misunderstanding where the call to integrity has raised so much fear in people that weren't being true to themselves that they've started a whole, now, I don't know if I've ever mentioned on the show before, but I actually despise the term New Age. I don't like the movement very much, and I haven't for a long time. And I'm sure a lot of you experience this, where someone that's a New Ager is usually a sort of a frenetic, superficial disconnect that's a place of more of cult than it is of culture. And that's a real nutshell thing of me whinging about it. But there seems to be a whole new Ager in the last 5 weeks or so, as we've got this astrological slapping and spanking.
There's something.
The new Ager seems to think that, oh my God, there's a call to integrity, so I'm going to start a new cult of how I get to judge everyone else and call out every other fake or whatever charlatan, and tell you that you should only listen to me. You should. So yeah, you would think. Yeah, you would hope it did, but no, there's still that movement. But But yeah, there's this whole new group of individuals that have stepped out and done this. And they, frankly, I wish there was a better term for this, but they sound like a pack of whining bitches. They are nasty, bitchy, name calling, and they're all doing the same thing. Only listen to me. I can tell you who the people are you should trust. Why would you trust that person?
That sounds like the New Zealand government.
Sorry?
Remember it sounds like the New Zealand government. Remember they said there's a lot of disinformation out there. Only we have the right information, so listen to us. And it's like, you're the government, please.
Yeah, and my question is, I'm trying so hard not to swear at this because I'm getting really fatigued by people doing this in the last few weeks or last several weeks. But who the hell are they to judge anyone else? There's no one higher or lower than anyone else. Why would you listen to that person, no matter how much they crap on about how educated or how special or that they had something channeled to them back in 1982? Like, you know, it's like, why would you listen to that person? Honestly, trust your gut. Don't trust someone else at the moment, because if someone's out there saying, join our little cult of bitching about everyone else, then don't join the cult. Stay away from it. Just don't. We're not in a position to judge them either, but what we're seeing is ego. What you're seeing is their fear. The funny thing about it, or the sad thing about it, is the call to integrity that came through that massive Lionsgate where we were connected through the portal to Sirius, which is always about integrity. It was always about integrity within the self. It was about looking within. It was never a public calling out of anyone else, because who the frig are we to judge anyone else? Okay? It's like, seriously. And so it's about looking inside yourself and seeing that. And all of us can tell stories. Andrew and Mont and I can all tell stories of how we got smacked. And you've heard I was going to call you Montesaurus, which is Andrew's thing. We heard about Mont's channel on YouTube being shut down. We heard about all that sort of stuff going on and the slaps that we've caught. And the slap was to look inside yourself. And I was just talking to another fantastic group of individuals in a Zoom room saying that, yeah, discuss it if you want to with someone you trust. Like I discussed what was brought to me with Andrew and with Mont, and they all came in with the harsh but essential truth that I needed to hear for me to rise up and actually be better himself. It was never about a public slaying of someone else thinking someone's a fake. And what you're seeing at the moment is so many people that felt that they didn't get enough attention, or they didn't get what they felt they were owed, or whatever their ego or their insecurity or whatever their journey's telling them, and they're using this opportunity to take it out on whoever else they want to, because itself.
What I like is you have that Lionsgate, wherever it was, calendars. Yeah, lazy Time Lord. Okay, calendars. All right, you go with that. And it's a positive experience. Now, depending on your perception of like, well, I lost my YouTube account or a Google account. Not really positive, but 24 hours later, yeah, all right. Universe is nudging in the right way. What I find interesting is when the Lionsgate closed, has creation gone, oh, you passed that, you've done well, you learned what it is like. Here's another problem. 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 And they're all little. They're all little things like just annoyances.
Let me step in here real quick. So we've got a person in the chat room. So the individual, it's always been an individual awakening, and unfortunately, when we run across social media speakers who don't have the right language capacity to say what they mean, or they're saying what they're meaning, because they're discombobulated, disconnected, attacking, whatever. And social media is where trolls are. And unfortunately, when speakers troll back at other speakers, they not only are lowering themselves, but they're revealing stuff about themselves. And unfortunately, this last Lionsgate put a lot of people into collectivism and put them back in the tribes. And guess what? That's going to backfire on them.
Yeah,
this
big time.
This is what you were supposed to. This the Lionsgate was. What are you avoiding in you alone? And when you retreat back to collectivism or tribalism, and the people's preaching collectivism or tribalism during that time, you missed the entire moment and the whole reason that the lion roared individually. It wasn't a collective of lion prides. It was one lion. And understanding that the individual choice is what the graduation is about. And if they choose to go there, that's their choice. but it'll also be their karma to disconnect from that journey and whatever it's going to cause. And some of the greater things that are going out here is because people have lost humor, lost sarcasm, they only take the moment and energy behind it serious. Let's say we've had quibbles and lines up here and said all sorts of things, but none of us have ever hurt each other. Okay, none of us, because we know this is a safe space. Wokeism, to just be us. And unfortunately, the tribalism and the forcing into the narrowing to teachers is a big part of the internet's problem. But at the same time, all these people would have never found me, Monty, or Melissa if it wasn't for it.
Yeah.
Are we a tribe? No, we're a bunch of friends. Okay, we don't need a tribe. We need each other to be friends, to be champions to each other during our tough times. And that makes us better than a tribe, better than a nation.
It does. It's this is like at the moment where it's at. I mean, there's stuff I can really have a chuckle with about what's going on with a lot of people around that are in positions, like you're saying, Andrew, people, particularly people that have a microphone. You know, people that are on not necessarily a massive phallic one. But you know, I'd just been saying to the group I was chatting to before we came on here about how the show had really cleaned up. And here we are with a big phallic microphone. I have my little silver one, but it's
put it on. It's okay. It's your little
nothing.
It's your little vibrator microphone.
It's not the size, it's how you
little
use
yoni
it.
microphone. It's the little yoni. But they at the moment, particularly people that are really good people. I'm here to tell you the people I'm talking about are good people. I'm not here to make fun of anyone. At the moment, I'm actually a little bit heartbroken. My heart actually aches for watching these people going the wrong path. And in the last probably week, maybe a little longer, it's amazing what your spiritual team, like your, whatever you want to call them, your guides, your guardians, everyone that walks with you in this life that's supporting you and your human existence here. It's amazing what Spirit's doing to try and turn people around that are really, really going the wrong way now. And so Spirit's trying to use all sorts of really basic languages. And of course, the human body itself, the actual biotech, really only has one main language, which is pain. And so, but even with that, in the last 9 days, there have been of various people that have microphones, be it a small or a large audience around the world. I've seen 5 men, all over 45, have ruptured their Achilles tendon. I shouldn't laugh, I'm sorry. But it's so much Spirit saying, you are going the wrong way, stop. You're not going any further.
Yeah, those three-way signs.
Calls from friends and colleagues, Mel, can you help with the Achilles tendon? And Andrew actually had a call from a friend that actually said the same to him. And Andrew said the same thing I've said to all of them. You're going to need surgery for that. Your fastest way of healing that is to have it put back together, and then you're going to have to recover. And it's such a do a U-turn now. It's like your Google Maps is just U-turn now or I am putting the brakes on you. Particularly the Achilles tendon really cripples people. But I've also seen, this is the last probably 10 days, I've seen 2 knees being absolutely destroyed. Like I've seen, that's sciatica. Here's sciatica where I'm going to stop you on your path. It's just the stuff that's happening to people where you can hear their life's path, their contract saying, wrong way, go back.
Yes, but at the same time, the universe does put up green stop signs.
Yeah, it does.
Like, what? Come on. And I think with like from your perspective, you seeing all this, it's just reaffirming the lesson you've learnt, if that makes sense. Because it's like he's like, oh, I'm on the right track, and the universe is going, yeah, this is the other path you didn't take. It's like bam, 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 like oh.
Look,
just another lesson in free will.
Let's get off the bitchy people subject, because guess what? When we get stuck on bitchy people subject, we become bitchy people.
Oh, what do you mean by that? How
Oh
dare
no,
you?
I didn't mean to sound like that. I just thought it's actually, I kind of find it beautiful that Spirit's finding really good base languages to try and say to people, you're better than this. I know you are. And I want you to see it. Remember who you are. This was always a call to look in yourself. But even myself, not listening, I threw a bit of a tantrum at Spirit and all that is in my Lionsgate experience. And I had this animal spirit's always a great one. When you see an animal that you wouldn't expect to see somewhere else, or, look up at shamanism, look up the spiritual meaning of what that animal is. Chances are it's gone out of their way to give you a message. And
also remember, just be careful. It's not a Greek god who's trying to have sex with you. Just putting that out there.
Well, I'm pretty sure this one wasn't. I was driving the car, driving along at the moment. Now we've just come in. It's spring here. Woo! I'm stoked. We're finally getting out of this winter. I'm driving along the road and I was actually I wasn't listening to Spirit. I'd thrown a tantrum. I'd been slapped in the face. Hello, thanks, Lionsgate and all the rest. And I was going to do a little sulk for at least a few days. I'm not talking to you. And that's exactly what I was doing. Yeah, that's how mature I am, even in my spiritual journey. Sometimes we are. We're still human, right? Driving the car along and I'm out of nowhere. I'm driving along, line of traffic, doing 80 kilometres an hour, not a small speed, in a huge line of traffic. And out of nowhere, 2 ducks have flown over just above the car, gorgeous native ducks, like flying just above that. And I thought, isn't that great? And then in perfect synchronicity, they both crapped at the same time on my windscreen. And on the driver's side, in front of me.
Pilot to bombardier.
Have you seen how big a duck turd is?
Daffy to Donald. Daffy to Donald. We have found.
Well, then you have never been a North Coaster where we regularly go and put bird feed next to the cars that are close to the beaches so that they get crapped over by all the seagulls. It is a pastime here. It is sport at times.
This was like, you can imagine I've got the squirters going, I've got the wipers frantically going, trying to get off, which all it did was smudge it. Like if you can even imagine that suddenly the windscreen, because a turd is no small thing from a duck, and it's just smudged it right across. I had to pull off the road and get the water bottle and everything out. And I'm frantically like water bottle, and I'm frantically trying to get this duck crap off the windscreen where I've been completely blinded and halted in my path, right? We're hearing what the message was, that stop for a second. And then I actually had groceries in the boot of the car, and I ran out of water. Here's a little trick, a little practical tip for you. I'm ex-military. I've got all these weird little tips and tricks, right? So I've gone and got a potato out of the back of the car, cut it in half, pocket knife, always have one on me, cut it in half, actually I usually have a big one, and wiped the cut potato all over the windscreen. The starches of the potato, if your windscreen wipers ever fail and you happen to have your groceries in there, use a potato, or you don't have a potato at home, use that, and it actually helps the water run off. You can still see. It actually creates like a slip. And so I've got the potato out, rubbed all over the windscreen, blasted the water on there, and finally it cleared. And even with all that work, I'm still not thinking, oh, this is a message. That's where I was. I was throwing a tantrum, right? Mm. I got back in the car and I sat there and just thought, hang on. Now, the shamanism of the duck is about finding an emotional island. It's about taking a break from the path if you need to. You can step off onto a little emotional island for a minute and take a breather. And it was very much that message. For God's sake, stop throwing your tantrum, take a little breather, get your head clear and learn from this. It was very much what the message I took it as. And but it was at the same time truly humbled by whatever language Spirit could do to stop me on my tracks and say, quite literally, get your shit together.
I have a different story to interject here for a second. So when I was limo driving, so I'm in a Ford Excursion stretched to 50 feet. It's a $300,000 limo, brand new, with like 80 miles on it. And it's going to be mine plus the bus, and not mine literally, but I'm the only one that's going to be using it because I was just really good. I was able to book myself, the whole 9 yards. And I have in the back people who have just finished a very high level, like white glove dinner kind of thing. So all the women are in the best gowns of their life. The men are in $10,000 suits, that kind of stuff. and they wanted to drive with the roof window open. I'm like, okay, no big deal. Well, I'm coming up a hill and my high beams are going up, and I see this owl coming down with its wings out like this, and it gets bright light. It misses me, but it goes in the sunroof and into the car. Okay. Smack right on this, right between two people, and it's flipping around. Stop. People flood out, shoes everywhere. The bird did die because I was going about 60 miles an hour, and he must have been going at least 30 miles an hour down.
Now, the owl is supposed to represent intelligence. Yeah, well, isn't the owl supposed to represent intelligence?
No, the night hunter, illumination, yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Illumination.
Well, you out illuminated it, and so emergency crash.
Well, he didn't see too well that night. Well, he was blinded by the light.
He was blinded by the light. He literally my high beams.
The overdose of illumination.
The comedian Ryan Stiles, this is like a week and a half ago, shared on social media. Apparently, his car was crapped on by a flock of seagulls, not the band, an actual flock of seagulls. and all he said, because apparently he just parked. I just parked this here. I think this was planned. It was a conspiracy. It's like, Stiles is coming, right? All right, Bombardier, let's go.
Everyone line up in formation.
Yeah.
So, no, well, clearly the ducks. If you think about the physics, the physics of it.
Well,
even just the Newtonian physics of how they synchronize that crap.
Yeah, ducks and birds have special math. They have very special math. Okay, they can land something moving. Okay, I have another limo story. So this limo was spick and span clean, and you can imagine what gets attracted to that limo. So I'm driving into the downtown area, and we're going past a part where there's lots of seagulls. And I have learned from long ago, never be in the far right lane, be in the far left lane, or you're going to get crapped on. Okay. So I'm moving this 50-foot limo over, cutting people off. And right as I do it, I see this other limo come up and get splat, 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 splat.
Oh, dear me. I'm sometimes amazed, because it's synchronicity, not coincidence. You're on the freeway, and you pull off the freeway, you drive for 3 minutes, and you park the car, and then you look at your back window, and there's like two massive lops. I'm like, motherfuckers, stop crapping on my car.
But they like crap. They like to crap on your car. It's their joy.
Well, yeah, if you think about how urban games.
Another car story. My very first car, an '88 Escort four-speed stick. The left headlight was rammed into and destroyed by a bird 4 times in 3 years. Hit it, shattered the light. I mean, a bird, like a 9-ounce bird or a 12-ounce bird, my car going 50, 60 miles an hour, it hit the light. Why was it taking my left headlight out? Why? What's the message there?
It was feminine?
I don't know. I still think to this day.
It's one of those, put that on the shelf. Once you graduate, that's one of your questions, like curiosity learning. For me, it's not a shelf. It's like the warehouse in Indiana Jones in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, I've got a lot of questions to answer. I know not right now. But that reminds me, yesterday I had an interesting conversation on Instagram. Someone called Mother God 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 whatever. They found me, but I don't think they know who I was or my connection, like to this show and so on and so forth. But how was your spiritual experience? What level you are at? What level of spirituality you are? I'm like, that's an odd thing to ask. Like, what scale are we going to use? Like Dolph Lundgren movies or Arnold Schwarzenegger movies? I'm more of a commando at the moment, but I'm hoping that I can get up to like Terminator. And basically, they were trying to get me.
At least you're not at Steven Seagal level.
Yeah, we'll see now. Steven.
Join our cult. Join our
But in a way, it
tribe.
was. It's like, I can help you because I've been revealed to me that there's dark energies around you, and you're only halfway you should be, and you could tap into your full potential. And I'm thinking, like, yeah, I agree to that, and I know that, and I'm doing that. So I don't really, and I know yourself and Andrew. As I said to Andrew off air, if there was any dark entities around me or whatever blocking, I think you'll mention it. She actually I actually asked at one point, when was the last time you had a spiritual cleanse? And because I've been doing a project with Andrew, so it's like 5 hours ago. And what I find interesting that there wasn't any question. There was no consent. It was instantly, I'm going to do this for you. Through Wicca technologies. What coven are you connected to, and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, that's not for me. If that's what you want to use your framework for spirituality, go for it. Not for me. The word coven, sacrifice, altar. You know me. I'm like, yeah, this seems like a step backwards. This is very odd. So I don't think it's Lionsgate. As I said before, it's interesting. We're in the realignment from Lionsgate because Lionsgate's was so intense or profound, whatever language you want to have.
Catastrophic.
Yeah, I was trying to find a positive word, but yeah,
no, there's the only positive that would come out of it is the looking into yourself and the letting go of the others. Yeah. And unfortunately,
it's not about pointing out other people. It's about looking into you, and it's a private thing. You don't have to share what you discover, or part of it, unfortunately, is it was so to the truth. It was so raw that some of it is inappropriately so probably a little bit humiliating, but only for you. Like it's not anything you needed to share or expose. You're not being made vulnerable in that way. It's but that humiliation is always the path to being humble, to actually being able to engage at a compassionate level all the more truly. Like it actually has great purpose. It was just a really harsh exposure into the self, I guess. But
I've got an example.
At this stage, I'm really grateful.
Catastrophic.
Yeah, I shared a meme.
I use that word.
I find the way that it's trying to be communicated, because it's kind of we've been in this path for about 5-6 weeks our time, and seeing these great people that are usually terrific, amazing leaders and thought leaders and spiritual healers and all that sort of stuff. It's hard watching these great people go through their path that for some reason, as is their path, they've made public. But I'm finding it really beautiful. The languages that are trying to be shown to us to find our path. I don't find turds beautiful, but I do love that I was halted in whatever language they had to make so obvious that I was stopped and said, grow the fuck up, Melissa, and it was just, for God's sake, woman, rise. But it is really beautiful to watch. We've reached a point now, particularly for gifted individuals, as I said, like colleagues and friends and amazing people around the world. And for some reason, it's been mostly the masculine, mostly those that are in a masculine role in this life. In the last 10 days, are actually getting a biological, like a physical, hang on, stop and slow down for a minute, because you're rising to a new level. You're going into a whole new level. For many people, not where they've been before, which is really cool. Like, that's really cool. Even in all the other lifetimes been on this planet, they probably haven't taught what they're about to teach before. And that's really cool and really humbling to be able to witness that. But as I said, I'm as ignorant and as dumb as anyone else on the planet. I'm still learning. My motto in life is Latin, ancora and paro. I'm still learning. And it's every now and then I get truly humbled, and I probably needed it, and hopefully I grow from it. And
I shared a meme of Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, and it's from the episode where the sign is "Remember, you have to do it," or whatever, and Homer puts the photographs of Maggie all over it. Remember it, you're doing it for her. So someone actually said, "Remember, you have to do the inner work and just not look at memes." which is in meme form. So there's slight irony. However, I just put that out because it's funny and it's funny and it's true. And everyone except laughed and shared it. But one person said, "Stop calling me out, damn it." I'm like, that wasn't you. I would have said that privately if I was attacking you. I put that on a public space, and your reaction, and I haven't heard from them again. But still, it's interesting where people's perceptions are, and there's that challenge. There's that challenge. Yeah, we're having challenges, and obviously people that are still processing the Lions Gate. There's the realignment that I'm calling. That's what I call this era now. There's an alignment or realignment happening, and it's reinforcing the message from the Lions Gate. Like, you really, you maybe want to read the telegram again. Just saying.
With that said, we want to remind everybody, if you are listening to us on YouTube or anywhere else and want to come and join the chat room over here, Robert is going to put up some information so you can come here into the chat room. We are going to be opening up the call. There's all the information for you. So anybody that wants to come in, there's the meeting ID number, the phones if you want to call in. We are going to be opening up the call-in lines early. It's something we wanted to do in the show, something I talked about with everybody in the green room in the back. It's because we want to give a more chance for people to interact with us. Normally we open the calls up the last half hour, but you can go down to the button, click the three-dot button, click the raise your hands. That's right. And we need feedback from everybody. Tell us about your Lion Gate. We've also been asking, when you stub your toe, what happens to you? Are you a screamer? Do you roll around in pain? Do you swear? So come on, join us. Robert, what the fuck was that?
Max, they have weird corners.
Yes.
So here is the information, and now we go to a man's groin. Back to you, Andrew.
Yes. So go ahead. Hey, look at that. We had hands raised, and I didn't even insult a single person.
Well, we haven't even got to Emperor Biden yet. So
Emperor Biden. We'll save Emperor Biden.
Are we waiting for hands to be raised, or
they're already raised?
Oh, there's a hand.
There's a whole bunch of them.
5, 6.
Oh, there we go. There's hands coming in.
Hey, the first time I didn't insult people to raise their hands. Look at that.
Good. The fear is working. Good.
So,
yes.
Coming in early.
7.
All right, Robert, instead of Wheel of Collars, let's pick Sean Bibby because I like Sean.
Yeah, I do too. Sean's awesome.
Yes.
I'm contrarian, so Sean's all right.
Nice. Favoritism.
That's right, because you are special, man.
Just like Grandma would do.
That's right. And people don't know, a number of years ago, Sean was on an island in a cabin with a cat. And now he's almost graduated or just about to graduate acupuncture school.
Sure as fuck, right?
Right? From a nowhere island in British Columbia to Toronto and an acupuncture degree. And it's the handful of sessions with me, but he did all the work. And I want to say congratulations, brother. You're doing amazing work.
Thanks, brother.
I also like
full hermitage to not that.
Yeah, I know. I got his hermit card in the post. It's like, oh, we've lost another one. But also, I would like to actually acknowledge your bravery for living in Canada, the Fourth Reich, and and all that ridiculousness. So, good on you.
The madness.
Yes, it is. Mind you, the United States, as we'll get to Biden a bit later, is trying to outdo it. But that's see. What I find. What I find interesting is that while the global narrative is shitting itself, you can actually still create your joyous life and live your life fully, integrating spirituality and finding your passion. That's interesting as well.
Yeah, like not bullshitting. It's been awesome. Yeah. Like all these stupid events that just keep going on are so insignificant, and like most of them are just pretty funny. Like who gives a crap anymore? It's just the same old shit with a different name.
Is that I keep laughing about. I have to keep apologizing to people because everyone's caught in the trauma by their choice.
Yeah, their ankles keep blowing up spontaneously.
Yep.
Spontaneous ankle blowage.
So, Sean, what's going on with your Lionsgate?
Oh, you know what comes to mind? I got something for you guys.
Ooh.
All right.
So this was like, I got goosebumps again. Cause like, I had a good day. This was closer to Lionsgate, but I had a good day. I tried out some new healing tools, but then I went to a waterfall, but then I was going to go meet up. So I'm making a all right. Oh, what happened here?
There you go. Turn on your
Yeah,
video.
he's-
Look, he's
Ah,
real,
there
ladies and
it
gentlemen.
is.
He's real.
The Bibinator.
Yeah. So
It's bibtastic.
I had this awesome day. Like I woke up early to go like do all sorts of things. Out from Toronto, go find a waterfall. So I go.
That was
I go
homework I gave him.
Oh, fuck yeah. I went to go try out a cavitation machine. So I started with that at 8:30 in the morning. And that was pretty cool. It was really interesting hearing the wee and stuff. So cavitation in the morning. Went out to check one waterfall. Went to the next waterfall. And like the second waterfall going down the hill. Like it was like between intermediate and advanced. But it was so beautiful down there. And it had such a really good feeling, right? Like it had this living feeling, this amazing feeling. So I get back from there, I get to my car and I call up my mate that I grew up with. Like, and because we were going to meet up in Hamilton. If any of you guys know Hamilton in Ontario, that's where all the waterfalls are at. So I call him and I'm like, hey, Mike, like, you want to get together? I'm near Hamilton. I'm checking out the waterfalls. He's like, sure. So I'm like, okay, well, when you done? He's like, well, I'm at the office. I'll be done at 5:30. I'm like, okay, well, what should I do for the next couple hours? Well, he's like, well, you can go check out the Devil's Punch Bowl. It's pretty cool. So I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Drive to the Devil's
Punch Bowl. That's
Devil's Punch Bowl. I know. So I drive, and it's pretty fun, pretty cool. So I get there and I check it out, and there's really not much to do there. But this place got like a really weird feeling. Like it is dry when I get there. Like there's it's 120 feet. It's all like kind of slate, this big horseshoe shaped place. And when there's enough water, like water comes down, but you can kind of go around the fence and stand there. And there was like a younger couple there. Like, I don't think they were dating, but they were just like down there and they were so quiet. And I went down there and there just this weird feeling in the air. And it felt really like strange. Like it just felt completely opposite to that first waterfall. Right. So you have the waterfall of life, and then you have the Devil's Punch Bowl. And then like strange feeling. Well, I go up, my friend Mike calls me. He's like, well, how do you like the Devil's Punch Bowl? I'm like, Mike, it kind of feels really ominous and it feels like death. He's like, yeah, it's kind of strange spot. Well, no shit. Like 15 minutes later, 10 minutes later, in the parking lot. That's it. All right. That's the spot, everybody. So I'm not even
a toilet for a giant.
So when the rain's not there, I was in there where the water was coming down. And anyway, so like not 10 minutes later, I'm not shitting you. I go out to the parking lot and some guy drives down the road like a maniac, smashes through the gate to the parking lot. I'm like, all right, yeah, buddy. Cause I didn't know, I just wanted to like cheer him, like this is just a weird situation. I might as well, join positively. And then all of a sudden he gets to where you pay parking, like, cause he smashed through the ticket gate, like smashed it in, went through the wrong entrance. And then all of a sudden he gets to like the ticket where you buy tickets still in his car, and he smashes over the parking barrage, starts driving down. I'm like, whoa, something's not right. Drove out, smashed over the observation deck, and drove off the cliff.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Well, Dawn just mentioned before that it's apparently a major suicide point.
Yeah, I felt this place just feels fucked. Like compared to the like waterfall of life, this was like the hole of death. And
So
like
you can figure out how the name came about then. No, it looks like a punch bowl, and there seems to be some dark side energy there.
yeah, he fucking like is it Selma and Louise? or is it
They fell right over the hill.
They go off the edge.
Yeah.
smashed the observation deck, drove down. I was running down the road because I was like, this shit's not right. Like, this is really fucked up. And then like there was like 6 or 7 people down there and they had to get out of the way. And he just smashed through the observation deck and pew.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, thanks for turning the comedy show off.
I know.
No,
but it was just
suicide. What's
crazy.
going on with that?
Ah.
When Dawn mentioned in the chat room that it was a major suicide point, I was going to say, the moment you started talking about it, as opposed to the waterfall, it feels very alien. Very alien. The Devil's Punch Bowl does. There's a place just outside Melbourne here in Australia that is very, very alien, that has a similar feel. Like it has this really strange, as you say, the ominous, you can feel the weight of it on you.
Like a shadow just like hanging around.
Yeah. It's outside. There was a book about it, that, you know, the picnic at Hanging Rockmont, you know, where people disappear from this place all the time. And they do.
Yeah.
They just,
Jimmy
you know,
the Kid. I just want to recognize Jimmy the Kid. Should have gone to a dip in Christ milk bottle instead.
Well, like some guy erected a big cross like 30 years ago or some shit. I don't know. And like, it's literally like, it's like 40 feet tall and it's got little like Hollywood lights on it. Like, so from down in Hamilton, you can see this big cross of the Devil's Punch Bowl. And it's like,
I wonder if there's a version of heaven where it's actually Las Vegas and Jesus does 2 shows a night.
I want to throw it to you.
Jesus Rodriguez does 3 shows a week over there. He's a mariachi band.
And they're good.
So, Andrew, what is it? Because you know so much about the power spots in Canada. We talked about them a number of times.
Cursed. So many spots in Canada have been cursed by the different secret societies that when they first came there, they tried to build their temples to redirect energies, and they realized that they couldn't, so they got vengeful and put curses on it. So no one could use them.
Ye old curse hole.
Yeah, it's so childish. I can't have it, so no one will.
It's the French cursing energy. So the French in
Ooh.
1640, yeah. Well, no, just not the French secret societies. They were rushed to curse everything. If they couldn't control it immediately, they cursed it right away.
We cannot have this. Curse you
bastards. Curse it. Come on, sparkle a little bit more curse on there.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of other places up there that have been painted really bad. Yeah, that's the cross. Yeah. When you're driving from Kentucky into Knoxville, Tennessee, there's a cross like that, except it's like 800 feet or 700 feet tall off in the distance, and he had to have it. He's had it forced to been taken. That's not 700. It's like 150 feet, but he's been forced to take it down and put it back up and take the lights on because it blinds the people on the freeway. It's so bright.
I don't know about you guys, but I get a kick out of giant religious super signs. I think they're so fucking funny.
There's 2 that I'm aware of. There's one in I'm just going to Scandinavia. Sorry, people from Finland, Norway, and Sweden. It's Scandinavia. It's a blanket thing. But they've got 3 big swords, which is honoring their heritage and stuff like that. And when I say big swords, they're like 20 or 30 feet tall, and they're placed really well. I don't think they're made out of stone, they're metal type thing. So it's a nice way of honoring their history. And somewhere in the north of England, there's a massive angel that almost looks like Batman. And you drive around this corner, and then on top of the hill, there's this huge rust-covered thing. And it's like, wow. It's almost like, you know, the White Horse in Glastonbury. Why is that there? It's like, okay, that's awesome, but why?
This space is looking a little empty.
Yeah, here in Australia, we have this unique things of making big things like the big pineapple or the big banana or the big koala or the big prawn, and it's tourist traps. And I think everyone tries to outdo each other. Like, you can actually go on a tour up the coast and go to all the big things.
I don't know what's
we're stopping at.
I've been to many of those, Mont.
Come on, you haven't sat in a giant lawn chair?
No, I don't think we have a lawn chair. No, we have a banana, pineapple, Ram.
You
I've
guys
seen
tend
the
to have
vi-
practical things like giant balls of string and giant launchers.
Yes.
We use
There you
fruits.
go.
That giant bat. Yep.
I think that's
So-
Batwoman.
There's another one which is the biggest rubber band ball in the world. I believe that's just outside of Kansas City. It's like 14 feet round. Took them like 5 years to make that many. That it was like 3.5 million
I
rubber
thought that
bands
was
in it.
their life purpose.
Recently
no,
displaced by
I'm-
tornado.
No, he pays $5 for you to get in and see it. You make
Pa,
money
Pa,
on that shit.
yeah, Pa,
Damn.
we've just got a letter from the bank. They're going to foreclose. Well, I've just had an idea that will make us money. You know those rubber bands we get from the post office?
Yep.
Collect them up. We're going to get some work done.
Yeah. So here's another one. Driving through Texas, there's a place called Nowhere, Texas. Okay. And once you drive through Nowhere, Texas, this is if you're driving nowhere, Texas. So you're driving west. And once you get just west of Nowhere, Texas, there's this giant sign that says adult grocery store next exit. So what's an adult grocery store? I had to know. It's a sex and porn shop and
Eggplants and
grocery
cucumbers.
store.
That's it.
Grocery store all in one.
It
Okay.
was after a
And
hard
there's
night.
no separations. It's sex toys, videos, lingerie, groceries intertwined with it all.
Jimmy,
And
put that down.
And there are truckers everywhere, and cars too. I had to stop. I couldn't resist. I had
Yeah,
to know.
I'm kind of
Good
scared when you hear
stuff.
something.
Innuendo is fantastic in there. You could pick up a banana and
clean up in aisle 4. Ooh,
Ooh, what kind of cleanup?
yeah, 4. That's groceries, but still,
That's not
ooh.
mayonnaise. That's not mayonnaise.
Yeah. Oh no, the furries are in. Yeah.
Well, do we put the coconut oil over here or over here?
It doesn't matter. They're all intermixed. You have lingerie and right next to it, groceries. I mean, there's a frozen section. There's a fresh vegetable section. It's literally a full service grocery store and porn shop all in one.
you can see the dairy shop. It's got like, chocolate mousse, chocolate custard, chocolate body paint, chocolate.
Yes. All that stuff.
Original Greek yogurt goes well for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and cures thrush.
So another one, driving through Pennsylvania, just leaving New York State, across the border, and maybe 100, I don't know, maybe 50, 70 miles inside, just past the border, and you see a big sign that says Scrotum Lane, next exit. Scrotum. Okay?
Did I read that
I had
right?
to drive up Scrotum Lane.
Yeah, nothing but flying
And I
vaginas.
drove on Scrotum Lane.
I just with the Texas store. Yeah, are you hungry and horny? Then come down to our emporium. It's your one-stop cooking and adult adventure stop.
Right by
All in
Crotch
one.
Point.
Yep.
I'd love the backstory. How did someone come up with it? How did someone say, like,
Dad, we just got a letter from the bank. They're going to foreclose. Son, I've got an idea.
I didn't ask how they combined it. I only let my mind think what was going on there.
Well,
Okay.
Australia's got some funny names as well. The one that comes to mind that we have a place called Iron Knob.
Mm,
Welcome.
where they used to make copper. Oh, no.
Oh yeah, the Iron Knob
No,
cock
nothing but
rings are
copper
world
here.
famous. Yep, yeah. The greatest achievement is the cock ring.
So, and then at Vegas, you run into some very weird shit. The Fellatio Palace.
Gee. So is that like an Italian
How is
restaurant,
this
or am I?
It's French.
A French restaurant. Hello, would you like dessert, or do you want Stephanie to service you?
Yes. And then
there's
there's an interpreter named
I don't
Cunnilingus.
gamble. I'm not into it, and I don't drink. And I love going to Vegas because it's
A
like
circus?
the best comedy show on the planet.
Yeah. And then there's an interpreter. Her name is Cunnilingus.
What I like about Vegas is the green sunsets.
Actually, when you see the flash of green over the ocean, that's actually a very, very rare event. Right as the sun's going down, when I was in Barbados, I got to see it a handful of times, and it's a really special energy when you actually see the green sunset.
Sons is taking a little Polaroid picture of you. Like, I
Oh,
got all
it's
those
like a
humans.
burst, like a burst of
I know
green light.
Jimmy's coming up with a blowjob castle sounds a bit too crass by comparison. Yeah, and then there's finger food.
Mhm.
Uh,
Creating finger food since
White Castle,
1969.
Blowjob Castle, Fellatio Castle.
And now I'll go back to my ASMR voice.
Oh no.
Oh,
Non-stop talk hour.
Oh,
yes, non-stop
actually,
talk
yeah,
hour.
Green Flash, is that a new character from DC? Is that like in a multiverse thing?
You know what? Let's add some estrogen to this show. Sean, stay on the line there. And let's bring in Herminia.
Herminia, Floraman, signal to unmute.
Join us. Share.
Hello?
Hello. Would you like to turn on your video?
Oh,
You're not in the bath, are you? That's a
You can
callback.
say-
Share to share.
later.
Let me just get dressed. There we go.
Let me move all this crap.
Allowed to
No,
say
there's
no.
all.
Hello,
I
Herminia.
was
How
trying
you
to.
doing?
It was asking me for if one to do dated, and then that's blocked me to turn the video on. Thank you. How you doing, guys?
Good.
I'm laughing.
We making
You
you
know
laugh?
why I'm laughing? Because I was thinking that you're talking about remind me just have fun in this life, because so many crazy things going on. And the reason I raised my hands was because I was doing a showing for a house today. And then I had a family that came with 3 kids, 1 boy and 2 girls, twin. And there was maybe the boy maybe around 5, the twins about 3.5, something like that. And they were so happy in the party, jumping, you know, laughing and screaming. And then when they left, just a few minutes later, 2 police cars came into the house. And then when I was inside, and then they will knock the door in the front. And when I said, I wonder why the police are here. And I go around through the garage, and I go over there and say, good afternoon, how can I help you? He said, oh, do you live here? I said, no, I don't live here. There's nobody here in the house? I said, yes, I'm here. I'm doing a showing for a house. We are selling the house. He said, well, somebody called that there was a lot of screaming here and a lot of noise. I said, really? I was laughing from the police. It was more like a show. I said, oh, that's interesting. I have to put that in my diaries, because I never heard that police coming to an open house because there's people making noises. And then I said, and then he said, oh, I'm so sorry, but I said, I'm sorry that they take you time to come in here for nothing. That's why I said, you know. And it was kind of interesting for me, because I was looking how the program of this society is. That means that people are afraid for other people when they're having fun. We are learning like to be worried all the time and be in the panic situation. I don't know. It was like, it's made me laugh so much the whole afternoon. I'm here in my house, and I keep laughing every time I feel those police faces. It was like, for me, I can't believe that somebody was calling the police, because I said, if somebody came to store something in the house, they won't be doing any noise. You know, and it was just 3 kids laughing in the patio.
Oh, the 3 kids are the worst.
Yeah, those 3 kids. Exactly.
Terrifying.
Probably putting food by like all the seagulls in the cars.
The idea of someone who turns up for the open house and there's police there is like, what the fuck's going on now? Like, why are the police here to secure? Like, what's so special about this house? Is like, is there a murder investigation? Security levels really high for this open house inspection. What's going on?
So let's continue to balance the estrogen out over here and add in Caroline Simpson. She has her hand up.
Well, she gets in.
Signal to
Like
unmute.
one thing I just remembered, the detective officer that I talked to when I told this whole story to him, his last name was Bibby, like BB, like BEEBY. This is weird.
Caroline, are you there?
Yeah. And
I'm
so,
here
Hello, welcome to the show. Are we making you laugh today?
always. You guys always make me laugh. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
so yeah, we
How's
missed,
your
we-
Lionsgate been?
It was a doozy, that's for sure. I had it coming. Yeah. Not funny. It's a comedy show. It's not funny, but
We'll laugh at it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Other people's misfortune.
yeah, just a simple thing of like, well, that's not me. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh no, this is me. I had it coming. All right. I spoke to Andrew a little over a year ago, about a year before the Lionsgate, and I had a roasting, and he's like, "Tell me a little bit about your marriage." I'm like, "Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine."
La 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 la.
Yeah, pretty much.
How's it today?
Non-existent. No, he moved out during the Lionsgate. Yes.
Wow. Congratulations is in order.
Thank you.
Now
Can you
can
expand
grow.
on that?
Non-existent marriages.
I was gonna
Or,
expand on that. It's like, oh, so
yeah.
you've got into divorce and congratulations. Like, that's not a greeting card that sells well, Andrew.
I have a little bit of a narcissist problem, a lifelong narcissist problem, and I'm 50 years old. So it's about time I start figuring those things out.
And that's why it's a congratulations. You beat the narcissist.
Yeah, they don't
Everyone,
like that.
round of applause. Round of
Yeah.
applause.
Boy.
Oh.
I had some help.
Oh.
I take all the credit. I did have quite a bit of help. Dr. Brandy Howe helped me quite a bit.
Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah, she's great.
She's legend.
So when you stub your toe, are you a screamer? You a swearer? What are you when you stub your toe?
I think I did the Peter Griffin thing. If you've ever seen Family Guy,
Yeah. Ooh.
so many
Ooh.
Denial.
ow! 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 It just goes and goes and goes.
Yeah, you're trying to like, I know I'm in pain, but I don't want to experience it all at once. So I'm just going to put a valve on it and slowly leak it. Yeah, like letting the air coming out of a balloon slowly instead of popping the balloon. It's like,
Yeah, and again, I a mockery of marriage, everyone. I'm very sorry, but it is.
Can you come a little closer to your microphone? You're a little soft. There we go.
I didn't come on here to make a mockery of marriage, good people. But it's about time I made a mockery of what I had been doing all my life, and I'm okay. Family's okay. Everyone's okay. But things had to happen, and they most certainly did.
well,
You just
do know
reminded me,
that.
you reminded me of Evel Knievel. Do you remember Evel Knievel? He used to do these monumental crashes and he'd stand up and go, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. In this monumental disaster. You just reminded me of Evel Knievel.
Well, remember the number one cause of divorce is marriage. So there is that.
He's right. He's right.
That's the number one
So I don't
cause of
ever have to
divorce
get
is
divorced
marriage.
again. This is okay.
The way I tend to talk about marriage with people is marriage is contract. It's a legal binding contract. And it's one of the best contracts in the world to take care of someone you love. It's a really mighty, internationally recognized contract to take care of someone you love. And as all things being in balance, it's one of the ugliest bastards to get out of as well. It's a brutal beast to expel yourself from. And so where are you in that? And how are you going with the grief and everything as you're exchanging through all that?
There's shame, and there's more shame, and more working through the shame. Yeah, just, tail between the legs. Like, yeah, I'm that person. Yeah, I'm that girl that never learned. Yeah.
You did learn. No, not never.
Not
Never's over. You
2022.
learned.
Oh, yes. Cancel. I'm the girl that had a little trouble learning. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, see,
But
you got through it, and
That's
that
better.
it's just a classic. You should buy my T-shirt. It's me, isn't it? It always has been.
I think he's still got a house too.
I should let
Nice.
Monty talk to you about the last time I got married and who I married. Like, you talk about
Oh,
marrying
oh,
a master narcissist.
all I share is like I've known Melissa for years, and like the marriage is coming up. Woke up completely out of my entire reality. I remember at 4:00 in the afternoon. Hang on, it's Melissa's getting married today. 2 hours after it happened, and like, okay, clearly there's a reason why I wasn't supposed to go. And the short story is Melissa has two beautiful girls, twins.
I do.
Yeah. So,
But
we have.
So here we are, like, how many years on? 12 years on from when I got married, and my twins' daughters are 10 years old. And last weekend, for the very first time, they met one of their cousins from his side of the family. It was a complete accident. They've never met him. So they, Grandma decided she'd let all the girls talk, and they asked their cousin, because they've never met their father, and they asked their cousin what it was like, and this 9-year-old girl let loose about what a filthy, disgusting jerk this guy was, what he's like, that he never puts his shirt on, that you go to special events and he won't put his shirt on, and he's like, and he stinks. He does. He has the most atrocious BO. He stinks all the time. Ask a 9-year-old. My girls have come away just going, because, I haven't been that honest with them yet.
All right, let's add some more estrogen here, because we've had a misbalance of estrogen. Let's add in Bethany Dodd.
Is it ladies' night tonight here at the comedy show?
It's Friday night, ladies' night. Somebody's gonna get a date.
Margaritas.
Carolyn, I love your avatar yogi chicken.
Bethany, are you there?
Yep, I just got to get some light on.
Okay. Hello, welcome to the show. Are we making you laugh today?
Yeah, actually. But I'm just also feeling I go up and down. I was going to say, I'm just so happy for the last lady who just got her divorce, but the thing about the devil's thing kind of freaked me a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, Sean.
Yeah, I just brought a little ghost to the table.
That's right. We're going to make jokes of the Devil's Punch Bowl for the next decade.
Yeah.
So when you stub your toe, what kind of toe stubber are you?
I'm swearing and jumping.
Swearing and jumping. Oh, that's a new one. You're a jumper and a swearer.
Oh yeah. Definitely got to have the jump in there.
Have you ever double toe stubbed?
No, I'm gonna say no. That doesn't sound very.
You're in for a treat when that happens for anyone out there. You're a hopper, so that's why I asked.
Nope, haven't fell down either.
Yeah, for me, when if something like that happens when I stub my toe, it's my high self with the universe showing that I'm in the wrong frequency. And if you stay angry, you keep hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Like, bang. Oh, you fucking bang. Oh, bang. All right, take a deep breath, let it go.
It's one of Monty's global life lessons that comes out of the blue that's completely profound. There it is. Monty just did it again.
Exactly.
Yeah, the no plan is still a plan. Yes. Trust my plan. I have to. I have no idea what it is.
So let's add Sean Hespin in, and we will balance out the testosterone to the estrogen.
So
he almost sheared off his big toenail once.
Oh, yes, that made my eyes water when you typed it, Sean.
Was that the thing that got me picked?
No, I was going to balance it out anyways, but it helped.
And we just need someone to add in here, and this person maimed themselves. Come, my friend, come. Yeah, and also with this show, like it was pointed out in chat. So Andrew said, "Do you want to turn on your video?" And someone in chat's like, "No, I'm not turning on my video." Ooh, look at you big camera.
So Sean, tell us, what kind of toe stubber are you, and what happened when you almost lost your nail?
I did lose my nail. I was very excitedly rushing onto a tennis court where I was going to teach tennis. And I hit the cinder block right next to the tennis court at speed.
Everyone has their own facial expression to that one.
It's the empathy, like, oh.
It was a gusher.
It was a gusher. Ooh. It was a gusher.
When something like that happens to me, I instantly would think, this better be past life karma resolution, because if it's new, fuck me.
So I have a different thing to add here. So before I was limo driver, I did construction work also. And I remember getting a call by this lady, and she's like, I need you to remove this countertop and raise it up 6 inches. I'm like, okay, why? She's like, all the men in my house run into it and hit their crotch in the corner of this purely sharp edge.
Nice baby.
It's happened enough times that they're paying to remove this granite countertop that has a sharp edge. That was like a $4,000 granite countertop.
Now, what would you name that countertop?
Nut killer.
Nut
Nut killer.
It's actually a spiritual, that granite has been waiting thousands of years to get revenge on the it had a masculine problem earlier, and now it's like every motherfucker that comes near me, bam, right in the ghoulies.
That's right. The man hating countertop.
Yeah. Come at me, bitch.
Exactly. Come at me. Literally.
I feel like
Another
the countertop wants to protest and say, hey, I hate everybody. It's just men that are more vulnerable down there.
So ladies, obviously a crotch shot for a man's different. What's it like for you?
Oh, I got kicked in the groin horribly in my 20s when I was in martial arts. And it was so bad that I had to have surgery a few years later.
Ouch. Ouch.
Damn.
So right in the testicles then.
The spiritual
ovaries, sorry.
The ovaries.
Ovaries. Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm a sex ed teacher, so I guess I could, no, you're aiming for the wrong area. It was right up in the front.
Oh, right on the bone, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
which kind of, yeah. And the thing that happened to me years later, it was called a urethral carbuncle. And I apologize if I'm grossing you out, folks. It's when your urethra actually prolapses. And I remember asking the doctor, they said, this injury usually happens to elderly women. What happened to you where you would need the surgery? And I'm like, that's what I'd like to know. Why is this happening to me? And it says, and like, well, it happens to people that experienced trauma. And little naive me is like, I don't understand what you mean. What kind of trauma? They mean like sexual trauma, like down there. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, oh yeah, there was that kick that one time that was so bad I tried to forget about it. Yeah, I would love to know the contract on that kick someday.
So yeah, is that timeline karma resolution?
I stabbed him in the kidney on a rooftop somewhere, Monty.
If the toe is, I hope that is.
Yeah. When something bad that happens, like, yeah, I'm hoping this is not new. Like,
I'll take the toe.
If I'm clearing up some timeline karma, like, oh, okay, fair enough. One to you. We're all square now. But if it's new, it's like, motherfucker. Like hanging out with Melissa with all the stuff that she goes through, I constantly say, what did you agree to?
Oh my gosh, Melissa, the one where you were using your massage table as a battering ram between you and an irate client. I'm like on the edge of my seat just listening to that, like,
no, it was a man who's psychosis. It wasn't just an irate client. But, a man who's psychosis that had decided I was his life partner, and as long as we could have sex 7 or 8 times a day,
kind of my
chained somewhere. Lots of love.
No, I actually, I've a lot of you know my history. I've done martial arts in my life. The injuries that I've taken, because I do what's called Russian Sistema, probably the last 15 years, which is full contact, full on. And actually my 2 youngest daughters just did a grading last night, and my 10-year-olds are grading fast. They're doing really well in martial arts. Sort of watching these 2 little warriors coming up going, whoa. But
they can spar with each other, that's why.
They told all these said Bay last night, Mum practices with us, and I was like, oh damn. Don't tell them that. But they I was talking to another group earlier, but today my 21-year-old daughter got up. I was up early this morning talking to her, went downstairs to get myself a coffee, and she was already up, and she turned 21 only a couple of months ago, so there's just a bevy of 21st birthday party she's going to. Went to another one last night, and took with her a very high quality bottle of tequila as the gift. And today is experiencing her first ever tequila hangover.
And
So
trying to remember everything.
When I went downstairs, there was all sorts of bacon and eggs and stuff fried.
See, in this household,
Hopefully she'll be wise enough to know it's her last. But I was saying to her, it's often when people look at my life and what's going on in this life, and I said, what the hell did you write in the contract this time? I said, it was tequila. Only tequila could have written this contract. It's like, this life could only have been planned by the delusionally superpowers tequila gives you.
And of course, there's that great thing of when you ask your daughter, so how was last night? I have no idea.
So growing up over here, if anyone ever came home with a hangover, guess what my mom did the next day? Would bang the vacuum cleaner next to your door on purpose.
Yeah.
Start vacuuming at 7:45 in the morning on a Saturday. Absolutely on purpose. Absolutely on purpose. And
I made a lot of extra noise when I got the extra fry pan out for her. It's like...
making noise on purpose.
I woke up.
Learn from her tequila mistakes.
Yeah. My middle brother decided to get a night shift job, third shift, and she was really opposed to it. And to the point, her passive aggressiveness, because he'd come home at 7:00 in the morning, she would just make so much noise and make it impossible for him to sleep until he quit. Okay. And at one point, he got so mad that because he just go, "You're doing this on purpose." No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Stop lying and admit it. And he was just going at her. Admit the truth. You're doing this on purpose. Well, then just quit the night job. Truth comes out.
You're doing this on purpose. No, I'm not. You bought a drum kit. You're 65 years old.
Exactly.
Andrew, was your mom a cat in many past lives?
No.
Well, it's interesting watching my own children going through Lionsgate and all the shifts that they needed to wake up to and things going on. And it's amazing because I'm known very much by my kids and people as a master manifester. And the accusations that have flown at me, particularly from my teenage and young adult daughters of, oh, you manifested this, didn't you? Because something's happened in this past few weeks that they didn't want. Oh, you did this. Good job. You created this, didn't you, Mum? I get all the accusations that I've created. Maybe there are forces far greater than I that are working on this for you.
Exactly. It's far greater forces for you to understand, little girl.
Right. I think our house growing up was all year Lionsgate.
All right,
it's hard to watch, but it's great to see people shifting. Like, I don't know.
Let's add another person and add some more estrogen. Let's add Rebecca.
Yay, Rebecca.
Let's achieve Brady Bunch status.
I was thinking that, Monty.
Hi.
Hello. Are we making you laugh?
Yes.
Yes. What kind of toe stubber are you?
Okay, toe stubber. So I'm a little bit like the Family Guy thing. I initially pause, don't want to feel it, and then depending on my mood, probably let out a swear.
So deny and then swear. So what was your Lionsgate like?
So a lot of stuff, a lot of like relationship stuff came up. Just how I'm showing up, and like in the beginning when you guys were talking about all this stuff coming up, it was like I went through this whole like recalibration thing about like getting off the wrong way and getting back onto the right way. And in like this past week, I skydive, and there's been several deaths in the area, and then a couple more like not as crazy accidents, but it's like all so close. Usually the accidents are a little bit farther apart. So it was just kind of weird that we were talking about like the Achilles tendon thing.
Knees blown out, Achilles tendon,
injuries.
Teeth as another big thing for the Lionsgate.
Plummeting to your death. Yeah, I mean, maybe not next year for the month after Lionsgate. I wouldn't go skydiving.
Is it making you wary of taking a jump?
Okay, so for me, I had gotten some guidance to not jump the last week of July. And I could feel that like the week before that, things are getting kind of swirly. But this whole year has been off for me. I threw my back out right at the beginning of the year. So I had to go through that whole like healing phase and like getting back into being okay to like go for a walk and go for a run. So with skydiving, like when you land, you have to be able to run out your landing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's not like, it's kind of extreme, kind of an extreme sport.
Yeah, I'm all for him.
I wouldn't, it's not kinda, it is. Like, I'm going to get in a perfectly good plane, go to 30,000 feet, and then leave it.
I haven't really done one. I haven't done one since I was in the military, but in the military, I had to do a lot.
Yeah. So
but also in the military, I did a lot with a lot of crap equipment. Like, at least you're jumping with something you're choosing to jump with. I'm having to trust that backed properly.
Well, she also doesn't have a 50-pound pack and a weapon.
That's right, and a gun. But
and you're not jumping into a combat zone.
So Rebecca, are you one of those skydivers that do you also fly kites?
No.
All my friends that love jumping, you know, when the conditions aren't good, they fly kites. Like they, so they're actually really good competitive kite flying. I don't know what the term is. I'm sorry, everyone that does. You know, really good kite flyers that actually do competitive stuff, because when the winds are too high for jumping, that's you've got to be smart about it.
You want to hear a little factoid that has a weird truth to it? All the original people that created wingsuits and the majority of the chief wingsuit gold medalists are all dead. The base jumpers, the people that jumped off the side of buildings or the side of mountains, they're all dead too.
Yeah, from how?
They're
How are they
literally dead. None of the originals are alive. They're all dead.
All car accidents.
Yeah.
No, wingsuit accidents.
Yeah.
But a big part of what's going on with that stuff, and apparently I'd heard, like anyone, even pilots and anyone that's in the sky in the past, I think it's been 5 or 6 months, but for the last 40 years, the geomagnetics on the planet have been getting weaker and weaker and weaker, right? So that's why when we're getting hit by solar flares and stuff from the sun, and all that stuff, it's affecting us more and more and more. And we're seeing all these shifts, like the planet's not holding her magnetics the way she used to. And this has happened on this planet before. This is when the poles shift, when the North and South Pole move, and, you know, ice ages, all that great stuff. And we know that that's happening. At the moment, any pilot that gets in a plane to fly, they have to call in and ask for the coordinates of where magnetic north is, because magnetic north is so displaced now that they can't actually pinpoint it even on a 24-hour basis. It's actually it's just constantly on the move. And it's both, and this takes us into all sorts of conspiracy stuff and everything, but the scientists are really distressed about the fact that the geomagnetics of the planet are getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Now, it's okay. This isn't gravity. We're not going to fly off. It's okay.
It's only happening because we're in the
you might drown, or you might, you know, because literally within a matter of 30 hours, the oceans can rise up to just under, what's the figure, Andrew? It's something like 297 feet or something, or drop 297 feet. That's at the moment.
No,
and so
6 inches. 6 inches.
There's this enormous fragility in the fact that anytime the scientists try to bring this to the public and explain what's going on with the geomagnetics dropping so rapidly now, they get shut down within 24 hours. They're locked down, they're discredited, all the usual stuff, right? Because they don't want it going out to the public and causing a panic and everything. But in the last 4 or 5 months, word has gone out to anyone that is entering the skies that, you know, similar to, and I've only heard this from friends that do skydive. They were saying that they get warned not to lately. They're being told, you know, you probably shouldn't, because the geomagnetics are so weak at the moment that even a small frame flight path can be completely thrown off.
Yeah,
it's a fascinating time to be on the planet. It's really, I mean, it sounds terrifying. I'm sorry I've presented it like it's a terrifying thing, but it's also really cool that we get to be here for it. Yeah. So, I'm sorry. Someone just said they got a flight tomorrow.
The majority of those small planes use VORs, which are very high frequency omnidirectional radars that allow them to tag where they're going to go. And the other thing is, because we're entering the solar minimum, there's not a high, the Earth's natural geomagnetics have to change. And what's going on is the GPS system is now giving the data and changing the VOR headings, which were all mechanical before. They've all become digital over the last 7-8 years, and it's supposed to be in alignment with 5G. And then 5G started screwing up all the AAA air to ground radars on the bot. Sorry, we got a bug flying around there, flying into everywhere. Now, the interesting thing is, normally solar maximums and minimums are 11 years. This solar maximum, which we just finished, and the minimum that we've been in, instead of it being 11 years, it's going to be 5 years. So as it switches to the solar maximum, you're going to see a very stable pole, and then you're going to see a bipolar planet. You'll have 2 north poles, 2 south poles.
Ooh.
And we might even get a time where we're a quad north and south pole. That is when you're knowing the geomagnetics are so screwed up, you don't want to be jumping out of a plane at that particular time.
It might be time to find a different extreme sport, Rebecca. I mean, I love surfing, you know.
Well, the thing is, a lot of the geomagnetics, the animals such as the whales, the homing pigeons,
yeah,
you're going to see big incidents of them just getting really, really screwed up, as well as lots of big birds in flight will just kind of just die in air and fall out of the ground to the ground like raindrops.
Well, we saw that back in the 80s when they started really shifting. We saw an awful lot of massive pods of whales beach themselves. They no longer could trust the external magnetic line of the planet as their navigation, and it was devastating.
Yeah, the solar maximum was very different then, and we didn't have the SOHO probes like we do back like we do today, and it's those SOHO probes that can determine how fast the geomagnetic storm is going to hit. Because you could have a very low grade geomagnetic storm, but it hits so fast, that's what ends up screwing up the animals that have magnetic points inside them. Like there's a lot of fish that are actually born with a magnetite stone or a hematite stone in their skull. And how did they do that? Genetics, you know, it's the miracles, the spirit. And it's tuned from when they're born, that's tuned to magnetic north. And when magnetic north starts to move, they're like, what the hell? What the hell's going on? And here in the Great Lakes, we have a fish. It's not really an edible fish. It's called a sheephead. And when you look at it, kind of looks like a sheep, you know, smiling at you, except it's got these big ass lips. Okay. And they go crazy whenever there are solar storms over here. You'll see them just swim up to the ground or jump out of the water. I mean, they literally go are on hallucinogens. They're like, I'm a human fish today. I'm gonna jump out of the water.
Yeah, it reminds me of the movie Dune, where they have the special compass because the moons carry such magnetic pull and everything. Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Is that the Prime Minister of New Zealand?
I thought it was Australia, Monty.
No. A horse face is from New Zealand.
I had to do that one.
Thank you.
It's so it's kind of weird. Imagine, you know, a pod of whales that beach themselves on New Zealand. I'm sure they thought they're heading for Japan, and because everything's always like, wait, why is New Zealand here? Like, this is not right, and bang.
And about jumping fish, 2 days I was visiting my brother and the whole family, and one of the salmons jumped like 2 feet from my head, trying to like just get up the river. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
And down the devil's toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to the devil's punch bowl and look for the handle. There's got to be a handle somewhere.
Let's just stay away from the devil's urinal.
Yeah.
Don't want to get golden showered.
Leave the shit there.
Yeah. And the satanic urinal cakes at the bottom.
Oh, the satanic urinal cakes. 2 points to Monty.
Oh, there's a point system now?
I have a question. I have a question for Rebecca. Were you just being modest when you said it's kind of dangerous, or were you referring to like the dangerous sports club?
No, like, I mean, there's a lot of people who are very safe when they do it.
Okay.
But I mean, a lot of things can go wrong, and base jumping is like the most dangerous. I mean, you get so much ground and things in the way when you skydive. Like it's just you in the air.
Yeah, with base jumping, yeah, one of the threats for base jumping is a breeze.
Yeah.
Because if you slam into the cliff, that's good.
And those can come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like literally, like a bug. Just
All right, guys. So let's expand this party hour. Let's add old timer Santo.
Let's see what Zoom does with this.
Join us.
Hello.
Hello, Santo. Are we making you laugh?
Except for the devil bit. Yep.
Except for the devil bit.
Thanks, Sean.
What kind of toe stubber are you?
Toes. Talking about toes. Actually, I've got a story about toes.
Why are there mirrors?
We got time for it?
Why are they?
Yes. Tell us your toe stubbing story.
When I was in primary school, probably about grade 3, it was a little country school, and the playground equipment was pretty poor. You know, there wasn't, there was a bit of a swing and whatnot. And the slippery slide was really basic. So being from a farm and a little bit ingenious, I said to the other kids, why don't we get this bit of wood and we put it on the fence and we can slide down. So we've made a slippery slide, right? So we're having fun. Next minute, I come down and I didn't realize there was a piece of wood sticking out.
Oh.
And my big toe got jammed. So I was stuck, impaled on this piece of wood off a fence. And so they had to cut it off. And I always remember.
What, could the wood or your foot?
The wood at the
Oh,
okay.
Because now my foot's in this pickle jar.
Yeah. So I always remember the teacher, who was a young teacher, had this little mini minor car, and we're in a little country town. She had to drive me to the town, which was quite a distance, to the hospital. And so I'm in the front seat with this big piece of wood sticking out of my big toe under my nail.
Oh.
And I always remember looking at her, and she was dry wrenching the whole way to the hospital. She's just looking, dry wrenching. And eventually get to the hospital. I think the doctor dry wrenched as well, but they had to cut the nail off, so the toe survived.
Oh,
okay.
Good
to know.
But speaking of Lionsgate, talking about toes, I've been vegetarian, as you know. Well, not at the moment, and I don't drink a lot of alcohol. I got bloody gout. How does that
gout?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And
you live like a king, Santo.
Your first gout attack was on Lionsgate.
Yep.
Wow.
And
get off your mountain.
I couldn't believe it. And I tell you what, the only thing I've got left to do in this lifetime is I'm going to identify as a woman and have a baby, because I think it's more painful to have gout than have a baby. Seriously.
No.
It's not. All the women here, like, know what you're talking about, man.
I don't know. A speech with the current president of the United States quite painful as well. So I'm just trying to figure out what he says.
Would you rather have gout or listen to the current president?
Can I have a bit of time with that, Sean?
You've got to give Biden credit. He's broadened his audience incredibly around the world. Anyone of any age is now going, what the hell is wrong with that guy?
Well, the weird thing, like, he did that speech where, he started invoking social nationalism from Germany. We have unity and we'll bring people together, except for 1/3 of the country who are fascists. The next day, he's basically going, "Oh no! The MAGA people are lovely." And it's like, wait, So you're either a tyrant and lying, or you forgot 24 hours ago.
Let's all send good thoughts to his speechwriters, who must be absolutely horrified every time he steps out to ignore one of their speeches.
I just wonder why they haven't gave him an earwig sooner instead of written speech, because it seems to work better.
I think every time he has the earwig, he fucks it up more because he doesn't know if it's his own voice or somebody else's.
Yeah. No, he starts having a conversation with the person from the earbud. He starts having a conversation with them.
Yeah, like, where am I supposed to go? You hear him talking that shit out loud?
Actually, I tweeted, I found a photo of, he's doing that, and it's like, no, that's very Adolf.
That's fighting Joe Biden. That's an old campaign thing where he used to pose like a boxer.
Yeah. So the text that I put up for my post was Pink Floyd's The Wall remake looks very weird. Because it's like Joe Biden plays Pink.
So let's add another lady. Let's add Katja to the show.
Welcome, Katja.
I'm glad you pronounced that name. I was looking at it before and I didn't want to mispronounce it.
Hey, it's
Hello.
Katija.
It's Katija. I'm sorry.
Get it right, white man.
So actually, my legal name is Katja. My parents misspelled my name on my birth certificate. It's Khtija.
Okay.
That's just
Are we making you laugh tonight?
Yeah, I need it.
You need it? What kind of toe stubber are you?
I missed like the first 40 minutes of the show, but if I stub my toe, I'm just gonna be like, fuck, like what the fuck,
you're
man?
swearing.
Like, I just get mad. Yeah.
You get mad? Yeah.
I also kick or punch whatever I hit. I'm that stupid about it. Like whatever inanimate object. Not while cursing.
No, I don't like the word stupid. I don't like the word stupid, but okay.
You should hear my mom say it. Stupid.
Yeah.
So over the time that I've been,
there are certain words like stupid that aren't welcome in my house.
Yeah.
So
over the time that I've been asking,
there's innocence, there's naivety, and then there's stupidity, right? So, and then there's intelligence.
Then there's ignorance and morons.
Different
layers.
And there's wisdom,
levels,
and
Jerry,
there's
levels.
suffering. Yeah.
Over the time that I've been asking people that are toe stubbers, so there's the silent moaner and roller, there's the swearer, there's the blame somebody else. Do you put that there? Who put that there for me to stub my toe on, even though it's a wall in the corner of the house? Okay. But right now, the swearers.
There's a fuck. Like you put me. I go through so much pain as it is. Like now I gotta fucking stub my toe. What the fuck, man?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right next, the karma of toe stubbing.
Yeah, it
so that
reminds me of
fetus in the womb, like, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get them later. I'm gonna put a wall somewhere that they're not ready for.
It just reminds me of a meme that I saw where it's a drawing and it's someone on a plateau. They're floating in space and it just says ego, and the person goes, I've had enough of this, I'm leaving, and they jump and they fall 4 feet and hit spiritual ego.
Yes.
They leave the ego behind and hit spiritual ego. I'm like, yeah. And I think the toe stubbing is, the universe or your higher self giving you a nudge of like, just pull it in. I'm the greatest. Toe stub. Fuck.
No. I work really hard. What about hard work?
Oh, too much focus. Awareness.
Hard work pays off with toe stubbing.
And if you're a really hard worker, a blown up Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
So
remember, you're human. You're going to work, rest, and play.
Just more bullying, right?
Yeah. You're going to have fun as well. So if you, there's a band in Victoria called This Is Serious Mum, or Tism, which it's not how the kids say autism now. Oh, that's tism. It's like, no, they came up with this in 1983, but they have a song where it's like too much vision. I can't get the rhyme right, but too much vision, too much focus gives you tunnel vision. And it's like, because if you do that, everything else is your awareness is completely gone. And so if you're focusing too hard, the universe will go,
sense of humor. That's what I need. That's for sure.
Yeah. And also, like, the blame is like, who put that there? It's a 400-year-old castle. Really? You're going to blame Dave, who fucking built this 400 years? Part of my plan. 400 years from now, an American tourist has stubbed their toe.
I was bragging a few shows ago in the chat room that I let loose with all kinds of potty mouth when I stubbed my toe, and then a couple of days later I stubbed my toe. Turns
And all
out,
sorts of other toe accidents too.
turns out I just go, ow,
into the motor.
Listen. Will you stub your toe if you have the best intentions in your heart for every single human on earth? Will you still stub your toe?
No, that's exactly when you stub your toe.
It's still human.
Nope.
Yeah.
Andrew said nope.
Nope. I am not a martyr. I will not martyr my toe for anyone.
And if you're actually human and you believe you have the best intentions for everyone else on the planet, you're meant to stub your toe to slap you out of that crap.
Exactly.
Well, that's exactly what's been happening, and it's happening right now. So.
It's another lesson in free will. This free will lesson just never fucking ends. It comes in every different forms.
Yes.
Like, I love everyone. And Mr. Toe goes, fuck you. Bam.
Exactly.
What about me, bitch? I'm part of you. Huh? What about me? Huh?
How do you like me now?
Yeah.
All right, let's add Mitz in there because he's had his hand up and down a bunch of different times.
I think you'll find that's a lady.
Mitz. Okay, him, her. I cannot tell through the name.
Fucking pronouns.
There she is.
There she is. Welcome. Are we making you laugh today?
She's a very attractive
you
man.
are.
All right.
I am.
Watch out, Mitzi. Monty's type. Look out.
What kind of toe stubber are you?
It depends on the intensity of the stubbing.
Ooh,
so
scary.
I could just sometimes just like stub it, you hold it, and then you just fall over silently.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I swear, sometimes I yelp like, ah!
But generally you're a holder and wait to moan.
Yeah, because sometimes it doesn't hurt.
Yes. And then you're like, it's sheared off. Really? Let me look at it. No, I have to hold it until it goes back in place.
Haven't had that, but one time I had this little gymnastics cube land on my little pinky toe. So only a portion of it was bruised. So only a portion of it fell off.
Ouch.
I'm sorry to redirect the subject here, but is anyone else? I want to ask Mitz if she's been to the the adult grocery store, because is there something behind you that's like, there's something behind you that's a bit phallic? Oh, okay, it's just me.
That came from Scrotum Lane.
That came from Scrotum Lane.
Because Andrew started the show with the whole microphone thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the way you reacted, Mitch, was like you just revealed something there. The way you turned around very quickly. Oh no, I left it out again.
I left it out.
That's what I was thinking. Did I leave it out again?
Oh, again.
Like,
again.
They don't stand up. No, I've had like my neighbors that are male come in and stuff is everywhere. I'm like, I'm single. I don't care. You know, it's just things. Yeah. But I didn't think it was going to be visible from here.
So ironically, when I do sessions, I see some very strange things in people's unprepared backgrounds. Yeah.
Yes.
And one of the, Robert, do you remember the show? I think it must have been 2016. We were having people turn video on, and the little bar across the top showed a guy with a totally naked sitting there, and he didn't realize his camera turned on. Mm-hmm. Still trying to figure out Zoom. Buck naked, legs spread open, with a light, still a beer in his hand.
Spread out for the world.
Spread eagle for the world. And then there's a couple other times. Is one of the reasons we didn't do video for the longest time, because I was, oh fuck, I'm gonna lose my YouTube channel.
Hey, you leave that king alone, all right? Like, he was living the life.
Yes.
There have been people banned for nicer things.
Yes, people banned for nicer things. I'm going to recall if this person, I'm not going to tell your names, a woman doing a session with her, and I'm like, I had to ask, are those dildos behind you? And she went, oh. It was like 6 of them lined up on the thing there because she was doing the session in her room. I'm like, did you just leave those out like that? And they were not little; they were big.
Did they have the days of the week on them?
I don't know. I should have asked.
Is that a bad thing, though? Is
No.
sexuality a bad
No,
thing?
No. Sharing it with everyone is. Like, here's my collection of dildos.
There's my
everyone.
action figures.
Thank you for coming to the PTA meeting.
It's not a bad thing. But the shit that happens in my private sessions, all right?
But you say no video in your private session, no?
Most of the time I don't because people have shitty internet. And what ends up happening is the recordings just get screwed up and then they call me back, I didn't get my recording. Because your internet.
That's exactly what I sounded like when I spoke to you last.
I remember one of the earlier comedy shows. Oh, that's a nice cactus. One of the early shows.
You like that stuff? Monty, you like it that rough?
No, I am being comedic. Not everything I say is true. There's jokes. Mind you, now is that called one prick or 1,000 pricks? I remember one of the early comedy shows. We had David on, and a lady was in the bath.
Yes,
she,
in her bathtub.
Yeah. Figure out what was going on there.
Actually, that wasn't a comedy show.
Oh, okay.
That was a regular Thursday call-in show. And then she called back in the bathtub.
Might as well have been.
Yeah. And now we had the guy that called in from the bathtub too. And we've had about 4 or 5 people call in from the bathtub.
Yeah, it was a theme for about 3 months. It's like, live from the bathtub. Okay, don't turn your camera on.
Yes. And the one lady dropped her phone into the water. I could tell a lot of
stories about it, but probably because I'm a woman, they're a little bit more horrific. Like they may be more like horror stories than comedic. Like Andrew's got the lady with the dildos with the days of the week. I like that. But yeah, I've got to stop. I've got to start telling people to turn the camera off. That would help. No.
But why is that?
And then you're talking to a guy, and like he's booked in for a session. He's talking to you, and he's just chatting away, and he says, "Oh, I'm just going to go and get something." And this guy stood up, and there's this massive erection in front of the camera, and it's, I don't.
Place.
I'm lost for words. It's that freeze response where I don't know what to say. Show a bit of respect, dude. Hang up.
Yep.
Who do you think you're talking to?
No. He was just in a higher vibration, man.
So when I first started doing Reiki and then getting into cranial sacral therapy,
I've been trying to find this story on YouTube for a long time, Andrew. Tell it again.
So at that time we were doing clinics. So we would have 5 or 6 tables, high-level tables, the ones that auto raise and lower. And this was actually done at an Ursuline nun college that was opened up to a 4-year degree. Ursuline nuns teaching Reiki and cranial sacral therapy in like 1998, 1999. Really revolutionary stuff. And the Pope ordered them to shut it down, and all the Ursuline nuns around the world went on strike. And the Pope suddenly allowed them to have their cranial sacral therapy, Reiki stuff back because all the nuns striked. That mean they literally like,
you can have it back.
You can have it back.
God.
What will we do without our nuns?
Yeah, exactly. So I would end so this nuns college also had a nuns retirement home or recovery rehab center for the nuns. And there was a lot of women that were coming for healings, and I was generally the only guy on the staff of like 30. So I would get woman after woman after woman. And so many of them left a puddle on the massage table a puddle. And they'd sit up and they'd rub their butt like this and try to slowly eke their way off, but it was still glistening.
That's the religious sexual oppression, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, who wants to follow
Not just
that?
that, but all sorts of different things. But the puddle stories, and at first I'm like, I'm not doing this on purpose. I was like so overly concerned, and then I was like, I just got to take it as a compliment. That's all I got to do.
Would you rather be a good listener or a good glistener?
Listener.
Learn.
For those male listeners out there that can't get a girl, that's what you gotta learn.
Yes, you gotta learn to be a listener.
Well, from a hermit perspective, you also have to leave the house. Now, I mean, challenges, but yeah, it's leaving the house.
Hey, but Monty is gonna leave the house for a kitty cat, you know? So if Monty can do it, other people can do it.
Yeah, I gotta feed the little shitball, yeah.
All right, one more story from the backgrounds. All right, this was in 2013, and a gentleman and his wife at the same time doing a co-session, and then there's a picture in the background, and it was a picture of them doggy styling it that had been blown up and put on their wall.
How Roman of them.
Yes.
Very much.
I'm like 8 minutes into the session. I'm like, all right, what's up with the picture? And they went, oh shit.
Only bring that up on Thursday.
Right. They didn't use Skype. It was their first time using Skype. They turned purple. I mean purple.
John.
Just for clarification, what room were they in? What room were they in? Hopefully not the lounge room.
No, I don't know what room it really was, but it was. And then I asked, like, where did you get that blown up at? Because the film had just
your local grocery store, Andrew.
It was the Zoom room.
This was before Zoom. This was just Skype, the Skype time. Okay. I'm like, where did you get that printed out at? Like, they owned a print store. They owned a camera developer place. So they had the giant printers.
Awesome. No?
Yo, honey, do you think we should blow
That's
this up?
high tech right there.
I have a question. Who took the photo?
Yeah, who took it? Was it a
No, it was an auto done.
Just I need clarification there. It's like, yeah.
They said
I thought that shit right. I think
clean,
at the time,
auto.
but how did you get back in position so fast?
It's set up on auto. It's set up on auto to go off like every 6 seconds too. Well, I found the whole story.
How long till they turn normal color?
They stayed red all the way to the end, but purple lasted about 6-7 minutes.
Man.
So what was part of the learning process in that session? Boundaries?
No. They were great in a marriage, and they were having issues with their kids. That's what the session was going to be about.
It could be the photographs they hang on their fucking wall.
No,
Kids walked in the bedroom.
Pun intended.
Their kids were grown up and out of the house long that they were all having really bad mental and emotional issues. They want to know what they could do.
I don't think as a kid,
what could they do? What could
your
they
parents
do?
having sex, let alone say it. Like, no matter what your age.
Yeah, I mean, we even forget the fact that our parents had sex to have us. We block that out.
We try to.
I was the virgin birth.
Who has
created
the
being?
Impression? Wow.
We're all immaculate conceptions. We're all Anakin Skywalker. The Force.
It's all the midichlorian.
I like this format,
You're
Andrew.
right. A literal fucking wall. Exactly.
Yeah, so pun intended.
Oh,
and Andrew, I just want to compliment you on this idea because as a stand-up comedian, it's good to hear them laugh because LOL in the chat and like that's not really fulfilling my comedic needs.
I never thought about that.
Have you noticed as well when
God.
people are on like they're on
Amazing.
this and they use the chat room and you say something and it's funny and they type lol, but their entire expressions is
What if I do it in all caps?
Well, Monty, I said before the show, I think we need to open up earlier, and my psychic brain was already looking forward.
Monty, I saw somebody dictating a text message do that, and she's finished the sentence and then she said LOL.
I'm a mum. I can't remember whose mum it was. Thought LOL meant lots of love.
It did a little bit.
Yeah, for about 3 seconds, and then it's laugh out loud.
Yeah.
And now
Back
I've
in
seen comedians here in Melbourne where instead of laughing, they just say lol. Like, once again, it's not you faking it. I've had someone go, yeah, you say something, you go, that's hilarious. Then fucking laugh. Just don't say that's hilarious. It's like
classic conundrum.
All right, so we have 2 people left with their hands up. Let's bring on Hoda, and Alfredo.
Good and Alfredo. Signal to unmute.
I'm Alfredo. He's not here.
Oh, no, I'm here. Just give me 1 second.
Alfredo, how you doing today? We making you laugh?
Yeah, man, finally. Yeah, it took the end of the show, but yeah.
Oh, well, all right. Tell us what you really think.
Hilarious.
What kind of
toast that hard in a while?
What kind of toe stubber are you?
Oh man, it's been a while. I was thinking about it. I can't even remember the last time, but I feel like I just hold it really tightly. I was like, just a long grunt, and usually cuss about it. But I was gonna think. I was like, oh, go ahead, Monty.
No. You're a holder and a grunter.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have too many like toe stubs lately, but I was like, man, I got a cool story when I cut off the tip of my thumb when I was working back at Sam's, so like years ago. But I remember I was cutting. I was really reckless when I was young. I was just like, I just want to go as fast as I can and do this and do that. I was just like recklessly like cutting beef stews like as fast as I can, and I wasn't wearing a cut glove because I was so quick and rebellious. I was like, whatever, I don't need this shit. I'll break every policy, whatever. I'm just do my job as fast as I can. Have fun here. I cut off the tip of my thumb and I was cutting up some beef stew, and the tip of my thumb fell into the beef stew. I was like, what the fuck? And I had no pain whatsoever for hours, and I was just staring at it. I was like, oh my gosh, I can fix this. I get a Band-Aid, put it on there. I was like, oh, it's okay. It's good. Sure enough, blood is just gushing down my hands. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, oh man, the whole time just like, I'm going to get fired. I'm going to get fired. They're going to drug test me. My piss is dirty. I was like, oh, are you okay? Apparently, is it good? It's like, I'm okay. I'm good. It's like, it was so ridiculous because Sam's, they're so cheap. Or it's like, I was like, I was paranoid. Everybody's trying to help me. I'm just like, oh, I'm going to get fired. They got this worried look on my face, of course. And it's like, are you going to be okay, Alfredo? Do you need to go to the doctor? It's like, no, I don't need to go to the doctor. I'm okay. I don't need the drug test. I'll be all right. And sure enough, they let me go away with it for a bit. And I thought that was a pretty cool story. But
I do like, when we deal with pain and accidents happen, I do like the sacrifice a nerve does, where it's like, okay, you're learning from something, but I'm going to sacrifice myself so you won't feel it. The nerve's like, I will give my existence for you, sir.
So Hoda,
Poulet Mare.
Huda
Poulet Mare. Don't you get it?
It's the grand Poulet Mare. How you doing, brother?
Chicken shit. Doing great. Love this.
So, what kind of toe stubber are you? It's not Huda. This is David.
Huda man. David.
I remember as a kid, we had those beds that had like bent metal feet, and running and hitting it. And it's like, and then I hobble like I can run away from it. Like if I hobble fast enough, it'll be back there. It won't stay with me.
That's funny. So everyone has that the thing they run away from, and then you hit it again and again and again. It's like the metal chairs over here. Every year somebody sacrificed a toe to those metal chairs. And we had one more person with their hand up. Eddie, are you there?
I am here.
Hi. Hey, are we making you laugh?
No, you are. It's great.
No, you are.
Eddie,
was that a joke?
You're lucky Monty taking a quick break there. He would have jumped on that.
What kind of toe stubber are you?
Oh, I think I've been them all. I wanted to share though, because I was laughing at each one in the way that I can relate, obviously. But I was told when I was a kid one time by somebody, and I wish I knew their name or who they were so I could give them credit, right? But effectively they said, you know, oh, you could change your reality, you could change your world. Just when you stub your toe, just say yay, just be as happy as you could possibly be. And I was totally in disbelief. Not in the slightest. But the next time I stubbed my toe, right, I kind of was like doing the normal things, you know, the dang it, the cursing, the whatever, and the real cursing, not the folk cursing apparently. And sure enough, I thought, well, gosh, what is there to lose? Okay, because that sucked, right? So if the next time I stub my toe, I do this thing that they said was a good idea, which is to act like it was the best thing that has ever happened to you. Like when somebody tells you you won money, or somebody tells you go on a trip or whatever, and it's just act like you feel like that, right? And so I did it. I still have not landed on a decision because I certainly don't do it every time. That's all I could say.
We've also been joined by Bob Vogel. Are you there?
I am here.
Hi, we making you laugh?
From the beginning of the show.
Great. So what kind of toe stubber are you?
Oh, I'm a swearer.
You're a swearer?
Oh, yeah.
Like a sailor?
Yeah, son of a bitch.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I find funny is because it is you're swearing at yourself. Like, mother, you can blame the cow.
Of course.
Yeah, unless you're one of those people that's external blamer. It's not your fault. It's the wall's fault. It's the chair's fault. That's what my dad does. He blames absolutely everything on anyone else whenever he stubs his toe.
Oh, damn cat.
Yeah. Who put this wall here for me to trip on?
Yeah.
The architect?
What's that?
1954?
I can't remember the name. What's the genre where inanimate objects are out to get you?
Is that someone in pain, or are they?
That was Alfredo.
Is that a Friday deal?
Oh, that's my kid.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, my headset's on.
Okay. Just making sure.
Cussing can continue.
Andrew?
Yes.
You know, when you said your dad had a special way of blaming, I think there's a cultural twinge to this whole story of toe stubbing, because being of Sicilian background, they have a special way of expressing their feelings, you could say. So if anybody stubbed their toe in my household, particularly my dad, you cannot translate the words they use. And it is a combination of Sicilian, it is a combination of Sicilian swearing, but the saints, every saint is named.
Yep.
And the other one is, I've got to say it in Sicilian and then I'll translate it. So Dad stubs his toe and he goes, "Buttano tua tua magica de gagao." And translated, that means, that prostitute of a mother that dropped you like a big turd, whatever that means.
Means ouch.
Ouch. Yeah. So in Greek, the saints and the Virgin Mary have done some of the most acrobatic sexual acts ever. So the Romoto Paneia Malakasmu is you fucked the Virgin Mary in the ass, and she gave birth to a son that stubbed you how you stubbed your toe.
And yet, when I say "my God," I get in trouble for taking the Lord's name in vain. And then you have stuff like that. You can't talk about God, but everyone else below him is fair game. Okay. Okay.
So the first time I went to Greece, everyday language is the Virgin Mary doing weird sex acts. Literally, everyday language is Gramoto Panagiyas. It's just literally it's like a sport if they can put in the Virgin Mary into their swear process.
And
is that what Virgin Mary doing today?
And what about the entity that is the Virgin Mary? She's somewhere in this in creation going, "I'm getting more shit. I fucking hate you, Dad."
Yeah, right.
But in Sicilian, it's not just the Virgin Mary that cops it. They have a special place for pigs. And I don't know why the pig is always picked on, you know. Porco Dio, you know, God's a pig, you know. Porca Madonna, you know, the Madonna
God
is a pig.
pig.
God is a pig.
Everything's a pig.
So
I don't know why.
So in Greek, they have another thing called Saint Vernudi. Now, Saint Vernudi is a made up name, but it has become like
A real saint
a
with all our
cultural
consciousness.
icon. Yeah, Saint Vernudi, and Saint Vernudi is what he's the saint over. Personal accidents. So whenever you crash your car, thank Saint Venuti. Whenever you stub your toes, thank Saint Venuti. Whenever you get your money out of a bank, thanks Sir Venuti, because the old banks in Greece, you never knew if you got your money out or not. So, and then there's another term that means alas dadas cucanadas, which means you've got coconuts and pineapples for brains.
Can you say it again?
Alas dadas cucanadas.
That sounds so great.
Yeah.
And the way and the other word is malaka. If you ever heard a Greek person, you know that you've heard that word.
A lot,
and
yes.
What it means is masturbator. Now, my grandmother was born in 1916 here in the United States, and 1938, her entire family decided to move back to Greece 1 year before the war came. Well, she got trapped there. She was 18 years old and hot stuff, and married my grandfather. And so she has an English accent in Greece. And so when she came back for decades, she was Malaka this, Malaka this, Malaka that. And then somebody said, do you know what that means? And she just thought it meant dumb fuck, idiot, or something like that. It means she means masturbator. And she was so insulted that people let her go for decades without knowing what it meant. And it's one of those long-term family stories. You know what Malaka means? And she turned purple again.
So what does that mean for her? What does that mean for her? How can she be her best self?
She wasn't she wasn't even being called motherfucker. She was being called self-fucker the whole time.
Yes. Exactly. She didn't realize how she was misusing it. Because Malaka can also be a term of endearment too.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go Malaka Mu, which means you're a masturbator, but you're a good one. You're a good kind of masturbator.
Yeah, we had something similar in Australia where, and I'm sure Melissa can back this up. If you meet a friend you haven't seen for 4 or 5 years, you could probably get this response: "Get fucked. How are you, cocksucker?"
Yes. Yeah, it's a term of endearment.
Is this where boundaries kick in?
It's tone. It really comes down to tone. Cocksucker. Well, I mean, Australians use punctuate, swear as well.
No, it's not. It's not meant offensively. It's just part of the language.
Yeah,
it's kind of it's a weird thing.
Part of growing up. Part of growing up.
Yeah, it's like, I like my keys in the head. Well, aren't you a fuckhead? All right, get the coat hanger out. Yeah.
So another word. So y'all know I'm a very familiar person that uses the word cunt. So there's different ways to use cunt here in the United States. I was on a British radio show early 2013, and so that word came out, and the offense. And I go, here in the States, we say it with affection. It's with a K or with a C. Okay. And literally they took, really fucking funny actually, because we were on Skype and the look on the person's face, like, you just said the word.
It's like it was one of the most offensive words, and I think in the UK it's still used as that's the last word you use if you mean something. But here in Australia, it's like, I could come onto the call with Andrew. G'day, cunt, how you going? And then like, and everyone else who doesn't know, like, did you just what? Hank, what? You're being friendly, but and then you've got, if you watch The Boys, if you want to see how that word is used, watch the TV show The Boys, because Carl Urban plays an Englishman, and he just drops it everywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think these cultural kind of nuances are very difficult to kind of translate. So because my kids didn't speak Sicilian, my son when he was young, I tried to teach him some just expressions because I felt they were very colourful. And when he was in high school, he was in the music kind of group at school. And I taught him this expression. I said, look, this is one when people upset you, you go, "Non mi fare gugliare." And he says, what's that mean, Dad? And I hold my hands between my thighs. And I said, in Sicilian, when you get upset or somebody's upsetting you, you go, "Non mi fare gugliare," which literally means, "Don't make my balls swell." So we went to one of his concerts and he was singing in the choir, and he collaborated with some of his friends when they were doing all these harmonies. And there was quite a crowd at this thing. And in the middle of it, they stopped and they did in harmony, "Non mi fare gugliare, non mi fare gugliare, non mi fare gugliare." And nobody had a clue except me.
Me, don't make my balls swell. Yeah,
exactly. So we can literally use these expressions, as you know, when somebody's saying something that you don't understand, as a form of almost telepathy. It's like, what the hell did they say? So it's great.
Right.
I love it.
So in Greek, the other thing is donkeys are in everything. Okay. Okay. The donkey came and shit in front of you. The donkey shit on your grain. The donkey's flying. The donkey's doing all sorts of things. It's as if the donkey and the Virgin Mary can be used interchangeably.
Well, speaking of,
was the donkey or Virgin Mary happily married? And like,
they could be.
You see that?
They could be. Oftentimes, the donkey and the Virgin Mary are working together.
Virgin Mary riding a donkey.
It wasn't a grain conception.
And they're doing it in your grain threshing fields.
Andrew, are you saying somewhere there's a gag reel with Jesus nursing under a donkey?
Yes.
No,
yes.
That's so wrong.
It sure is.
No.
The donkey definitely is.
Who here knows what's happily married? Is anyone happily married here?
Nope.
Right. Right.
Santo raised his hand.
I'm not married.
Just Virgin Mary jokes for me.
Thank you. Respect.
It's only marriage has been around for how long, and has anyone been happy?
Well, that one guy.
Yeah, people have. But it's pretty fucked up what the forces have been out there to destroy that, right?
Oh, of course. They distract. I mean, I've had people like, "I'm not going to get married." Why? Because why does the government have to be involved in my marriage?
Right.
Because it wants your taxes.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally legal. That's like the same-sex marriage and everything else like that. Now, for me here in Australia, it should just said a marriage is between two consenting adults. That would make sense, but they just come up with it. And people say, "Well, yeah, if the gay community wants to get married, they can deal with all the shit that we go through."
I'll say I never thought I would get married. I mean, what I came from, I never thought I would get married. It's just I happened to meet the husband that I have. I happened to meet him, and I happened to go through the life experiences I went through, and I happen to now have this happily married life that I want to teach people who were lost like me, who were so cynical like me, and I want to give them hope. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart.
The information you just said, it sounds like it was meant to be, because you were like, "Oh no, I'm not getting married." Then you met the one and just went for it, and it's like, well played, higher self, well played.
Yep.
I love the idea of it. I love the idea of having one person in particular to run through life right beside. I think it'd be an amazing thing. It's just but clearly was just not part of the contract for me. It's just it might still be ahead, who knows? But
no, your contract was to collect children.
Apparently, just to keep me.
Why did you marry him? Have you met my twins? They're awesome.
in the very brief times that I've actually been married, I've managed to pump out 5 kids. Like, mind you, I seriously got to, I ended up doing
Very
multiple
Australian of it.
to keep up with that. But it was. but yeah, I love the idea of it. And so I'm very cautious to say to my daughters particularly that wouldn't it be cool? Like, it's not about avoid it or the rest, but I also give them that perspective of what marriage actually is, what the contract actually is, separate to what the engagement actually is.
Right. I have 2 daughters too. I have a 2-year-old. I have a 3-year-old. I'm like, what type of example are we trying to set for them, right? Like,
Well, I think you're doing well. I'm just skipping over the meme there. You're happily married, so your example, that's enough. You don't really have to point out other people.
Listen, it's been
marriages.
hard. It's not easy. I'm not over here claiming to be Virgin Mary. It was fucking hard, but I do my best to do the right thing, honestly.
Yeah, that's the experience. And that's, I guess, by putting the work in, that's how you do have a happy
Hard work,
marriage.
right.
Yeah. And of course, the word, happy marriage, we know what that means, where, shit, problems, challenges. Like,
of course.
It's there's happy and then there's marriage. And if people work at it, you can have a happy marriage.
Exactly.
Allegedly, I'm single, so
no, that's true.
Isn't the happy marriage a sex position?
No.
No, but
No,
they are
that's
linked.
called toxic relationship. That's called red flags. That's called stay the fuck away.
That's dependency.
They could be both.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it an end of the show. Everybody that raised your hand, and I didn't insult you to come on, thank you for coming on and sharing your time with us, your laughter, your joy, your happiness, and it's great to see all of your faces.
This is fun.
Andrew, I've been listening to you for years, and thank you. I'm so
You're
appreciative
welcome.
of this. Yes. Okay.
All right, Robert, take us away.
Thanks, Robert.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Be well.
All right. Bye. Bye.
Goodbye. Good night. See you all later. If I can get this show to play. There we go.
Each different bubble of reality is true.
A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma.
Nudge, nudge, it's the holy grail. Improvise. Mysterious. It's counter psychic intelligence.
Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important?
Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.
Hello, let's create, let's co-create, and let's change this world with love. No matter if you're from Alpha Centauri or Earth, we all began with the same birthing process. We live in a limited point of view. Living the mystical life daily is about striving for the unlimited point of view. Each day, each human being gets an infinite amount of choices. Living the mystical life daily is about facing obstacles and challenges. The level of awareness that you are working at means you have a responsibility to be equal with it. How does one truly let go of expectation? You can make the moment that you wake up to the moment you go to sleep sacred. The keys to success: choice, 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 and choice.